and welcome, I am Civilian, and this is the Getting to Know You challenge. I was sent this by Penge of the Geek Cupboard, so thank you so much. If any of you have not seen Penge's stuff, it's really good. And you should go and watch him and look at his channel and other such similar things. But yeah, so I guess I'll just, there's a bunch of questions and I'm going to answer the questions and you may listen to my answers if you are interested. And the first thing in the Getting to Know You challenge is 3 YouTubers I am inspired by, or I have been inspired by to start this channel. I've forgotten, I should have planned this out, but I didn't plan this out. So I don't watch a tremendous amount of YouTube these days. I mean, I put videos on YouTube, but I don't have a lot of spare time. I used to watch a lot. And I still do, and I think they're quite useful. I quite enjoy watching YouTube just when I'm feeling a bit stressed and it's the end of a long day and I just sit down with a cup of tea before I go to bed. But the 3 YouTubers I watch that I feel inspired by, they're all quite distinct. I won't go into a full analysis here, but the first one is Grimmeth. Grimmeth plays... The first thing that sort of inspired me with Grimmeth is he plays things that are not the conventional things you play on the internet to get big. He plays truly... well, not quite what he wants to play, because there's a sort of rewarding the rewarded. He has a thing going on, but he plays, he doesn't play the conventional things that you see on everyone's channel, because I don't know about you, but a lot of the time YouTubers, you see the channels that are growing fast are the ones that are they're all playing the same thing, the new releases when they come out, and I'm not condemning that. I think, more power to you, but that's not something that I personally felt. I tried to do it at the start of the channel, but it's not something that I personally feel that it doesn't feel me. I'm more about playing games that are at least as old as I am, a lot of the time. So that was kind of encouraging, because I felt like I could play games that were not sort of on trend and it's still valid. I mean, of course it would be valid, but still see some success, maybe it's slower success. I feel perhaps I do feel that my channel would have grown faster if I had been playing things that were more trendy. But that's not what I've done, and I'm very much okay with how things are. I enjoy this. I don't want it to become a chore. I want to play the things I want to play, and also I can't really afford new games when they come out, so that helps. So that kind of forces me to play old games that I have. So yeah, that's the first thing that interested me about Grimmeth. And then the second thing is there's a real sense of passion for the games that Grimmeth plays. A sense of enthusiasm. He's not there trash talking the game as he plays it. And I mean, sometimes that can be fun, someone playing a bad game and panning it. But I much prefer the sort of positivity and enthusiasm of someone that enjoys the game that they're playing. And I think that really comes through in his videos. I think, and tied to that, he's sort of... he's either good at the games that he plays, or he puts in effort. He thinks with his brain when he plays games, which is something that I am quite here for. I find it quite frustrating to watch people that are either bad at a game, or not necessarily that they have played before, but that they are not trying, they're not reading things. And I know I'm guilty of this too. I know, especially in, I think, Sunless Sea, I have a tendency to skim through things if there's a ton of text. But I think in general, I quite appreciate that he commits to the games that he plays, I guess. He doesn't just go, oh, look at this game. Cool. It's a thing. Let's just skim through. Oh, I can't do anything. Angry at the game, which is what some people do. And again, no condemnation to the people that do that. This is just something that I personally enjoy watching. And the last thing about Grimmeth is it's a little hard to... I've rambled for many minutes already. It's going to take me a long time to get through this video at this rate. The last thing that I find very interesting about Grimmeth's channel is he has the attitude he has towards his channel is quite unlike that I see on other YouTubers. And so there's a sense of, he definitely doesn't pander. There's a sort of irreverence towards his channel and his viewers, but it's not just an irreverence, because it's also, he seems very serious about it. Sort of, yes, serious about the channel and about his rewarding the rewarders things, and and the volume of stuff he produces, of course, shows that he's very serious about the channel, but very irreverent. And I don't really know how to quantify it more than that. But it's just, I find that quite fascinating as a thing. So yeah, that's Grimmeth. I'm not going to go any further because I don't want to do a full. Well, no, this is not some kind of full analysis thing. This is Grimmeth, and that is Grimmeth, and you should watch stuff if you haven't. And he inspires me, but I can't be telling people. I think I don't know. I'm not going to go tell people to. Feels a bit weird to go tell people to watch a YouTuber that's like a ton bigger than me, because I'm like, listen, it's gonna do nothing. But no, I think he's if you enjoy his style, you enjoy it. So Vertigo, another YouTuber. I don't even play Rust or any of the types of games that he plays, but what he does is roleplay, and roleplay is something that is a hobby in another area of my life. Role-playing games, LARPing, tabletop games, whatever. We'll talk about that later. Yeah, probably talk about that later in this video. But I really enjoy that, and I think the way that he stitches together what are a lot of individual roleplay moments in order to create a larger narrative. I'm someone that's very much interested in and motivated by storytelling, and it's something that I'd love to do at some point, is some kind of supercut maybe of one of my Dwarf Fortress series. And I very much enjoy role-playing and storytelling in my games. And so I find Vertigo, he inspires me because he shows the types of things that you can do with YouTube. And that's not something I personally do. I might try and make some things in his style at some point. But I love watching it. And yeah, it makes me really feel the potential of this format, if that makes sense. So yeah, that's Vertigo. And lastly, is on many people's lists, as far as I can tell, Many a True Nerd, of course. I discovered him with his Fallout 3 series, and this ties into what I was talking about with Grimmeth, where I want someone that I really enjoy watching people that are really good at the games and that they play and that try very hard. So the Fallout 3 series, the YOLO series, was the first series I watched where he tried to go through all of Fallout 3 on one health bar. And I found this fascinating. The meticulous planning, the sort of slow and considered style of gameplay, I really enjoyed. Of course, not all games that he plays he is good at or tries really hard at and reads all the things. But the series that I enjoy most are the ones where he does. And so, Fallout 3 YOLO was my introduction to his thing, where he plays, it's very slow and considered and deliberate, and I really enjoyed that. And another thing is, so Many a True Nerd makes long-form content, in that he makes these long videos, not one of those super tightly edited montage things, but he still does edit, and I very much enjoy his editing style. I think long form videos can come off as a little lazy. I'm not saying they are, of course not. It's a different thing. But I think when they have no editing, they can come off that way. I'm not saying they do. I'm not attacking anyone here. But that is how I personally feel. I don't always enjoy watching super unedited long form content. I say, having just referenced Grimmeth, who regularly uploads super long, super unedited videos, which is why I say can. But I very much enjoy Many a True Nerd's editing style, where you don't feel like you're missing any of the gameplay, but also it feels tremendously respectful of the viewer's time. That's how I would describe his editing style. It feels respectful of the viewer's time, and that's why I am here for that. I enjoy that. So yeah, those are the three YouTubers that have inspired me. Sorry, that was quite a long section. Grimmeth, Vertigo, and Many a True Nerd. I should have really planned this out in advance, but I didn't. Anyway, the next thing on the list is 3 things I am excited for. There's a lot of things in my life I'm excited for. So Penge talked about games in this. I'm gonna start with things in my life because, again, I'm a student and I'm a bit broke, so I don't really buy games ever, or certainly not off when they come out. So I'm never really looking at upcoming games and thinking, ooh, this is gonna come out soon, because it's not really relevant to me. So things I'm excited for. Firstly, graduation. I am in my last year of a degree. I'm doing maths at Oxford, and I've got my finals coming up, And once finals are done, I am going to be free. My last ever set of exams. I have had exams every year for so long, like so many other people, of course. And I am so excited to just be done with the whole thing. I am so ready. I never thought I'd say it, but I think I've had enough of maths now. I think I'd like to stop learning new maths things, or at least not under these intensive conditions. So I just need to push through for a few more months, and then I'm going to be done, and it's going to be amazing. Oh, I'm going to be free. Don't get me wrong, I'm tremendously lucky to be here. I have really appreciated it. Oxford is a fantastic uni. I've had the time of my life, but I am most definitely done with the whole thing. So I'm tremendously excited for graduation and for finishing exams, more specifically, probably, because I don't graduate till technically graduate for quite a while, but finishing exams. Oh, it's going to be amazing. No more revision. So excited. Another thing I'm excited for, it's not really a future thing, it's a thing that just happened. I just did the splits for the first time. I can only do it with my left leg forward. I might actually I'll put some footage in here of me doing the splits because I'm so smug about this. I used to not even be able to touch my toes. I used to be the least flexible person in my dance classes consistently, and it was quite embarrassing. And I have worked, this has taken years. Literally, this has taken years of just every day, or at least I'd go through periods where it would be every day, and then not every day for years and years and years consistently, but pretty consistently enough to get me here. So I've just loads of stretching, and I eventually got there, and now I can do the splits. Only with my left leg forward, though. I can't do it with my right leg forward. That's next on the list. And the last thing I'm excited for is a video game related thing. There's a new collab series on the horizon here. Oh, and it's so much fun. We've recorded it already. I am very excited to share it with you all. I don't know if it'll be up before or after this video. It may already be on my channel. It may not be. But it's such a fun game. The only painful thing is, the first time I played it was for the collab. Well, no, I did a little pre-screening with Wee Hours. That's over on his channel if you want to check it out. We did a little pre-game. But besides that, If I was left to my own devices, the game is eco. I don't know why I'm being cagey about this. It's eco. It's kind of a Minecraft-y thing, but with really complicated crafting. And I am so here for it. It's got some really, really nice features. And it's in early access at the moment. And so that contradicts all my I don't buy new games thing. This was a treat. This was a special collab game purchase. And if I was left to my own devices, I would play this game for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours on my own. The fact that I am collabing means that I can't, because I don't want to get really far ahead in knowledge, because it wouldn't be fair to everyone else. But I really like eco. It's so much fun. I just want to play it. I'm going to bully everyone aggressively into doing loads of recording with me next weekend so that I can play it more, or at least I will as best as I can. And then the last section is 3 things I do to relax. And I'm going to cheat a little bit with this category, and I'm going to group some things together, because I have a lot of hobbies. so we're going to group things together for this. And the first thing I do to relax is not a bunch of things grouped together, although I could group it all together under exercise with a few other things like yoga and dance. But the thing I do to relax, running. I've been banned by my mother at the moment because I keep going running in the snow and the rain and the cold and making myself ill. But I'm pretty sure I'm addicted to running. I love it. There's a sense of when I'm out on a run, it feels like I'm treating myself. Like, this is my me time. Maybe it's just because I have quite a busy life, but when I'm out running, and it's my time to be alone with myself. It's my time to be alone and interrupted with my thoughts. I don't run with music. I don't run with... I take basically nothing with me when I go on a run except a key to get back into the house. And it's just my time alone with my thoughts. And it's very much a sort of processing time. So if I'm stuck on a problem sheet, I'm stuck on a maths question, I go out on a run, and inevitably within 2 or 3 miles, I will have come up with the answer to whatever I was stuck on. It's very much a time which allows my brain to decompress, and it's almost like brain processing time. That's how I like to think of it. And so even though I've been banned by my mother at the moment because it's cold and I keep making myself ill because I won't stop running no matter what the weather is like. So I'm not at the moment, but in general, running is absolutely number 1, the most relaxing thing for me personally. If you don't run, I would try it. Give it like a week or two, and if you don't love it, then you don't love it. But if you do, it's the best thing ever. I love it. So that's running. The next thing I do to relax, role-playing games and board games. I'm categorizing them together because, I mean, there's some games that are kind of in betweeny, and that makes it okay. So board games, I love having a load of mates over on an evening, and then we drink and I cook and then we play board games, and it's been my thing lately. I love it. My favorite thing, I love hidden traitor games, especially Dead of Winter. Dead of Winter we've been playing a lot of lately, and I'm really feeling it. It's a game where there's a zombie apocalypse and you are survivors, but one of you's a traitor. I love traitor games, mostly because of the chance of me being a traitor. I am shamelessly, but I do also love being betrayed in a sufficiently dramatic fashion. So yes, I love role-playing games and board games. Role-playing games, I have done some LARP. I'm doing a Fest LARP soonish, which is where LARP is live action roleplay, running around, foam weapons, smacking each other, very good fun. I'm not very good at sword fighting, as it turns out, but I'm quite enthusiastic. My favorite choice, I'm terrible with axes. Swords are definitely the best one for me. I quite like having quite a long sword. I'm right-handed, so long sword in my right hand, and I quite like a short sword for blocking. I find it easier to block with a short sword in my left hand than with a shield. So yeah, role-playing games. And I also tabletops, of course, Dungeons and Dragons. Quite like a little bit of what's it called? Vampire, the Requiem, the New World of Darkness, the Old World of Darkness. I quite like all of that. Role-playing games, a bunch of them. There's so many. So yeah, role-playing games and board games. And I love role-playing games, especially GMing. I love GMing. It ties back into what I mentioned before. I have a passion for narrative and storytelling, and my outlet is very much by writing role-playing games. That is very much my outlet for these passions. So that's wonderful. I love role-playing games. I might do some sort of role-playing board game things for the channel. I'm toying with ideas. I'm not quite sure what I want to do, but I would very much like to do something at some point to do with the channel and role-playing games, and there's got to be a way to combine these interests of mine. So that's my second thing I do to relax, and my third thing I do to relax. We're casting a wide net here. And that is because the third sort of group of things I do to relax, it's crafty things. I accumulate hobbies. I think that the most rewarding part of a new hobby is when you first start learning a new skill set. And what I mean by that is, when I first learned calligraphy, right? I sat down, and within a few hours I'd gone from not really being able to do anything to learning my first font. Just sort of through memorization and practice, you learn your first font, and you sort of get and then there's sort of diminishing returns. So I have a lot of hobbies, and I'm not tremendously good at any of them because I just enjoy that initial period where you first learn a skill, you're first improving, and you go from zero to having a skill in a short space of time, and then it sort of drops off, and then you have to put in a lot more work to improve by relatively small increments. So yeah, I think I have a lot of crafty hobbies, and I like making things. So I do sewing, I do quilting. If I remember, I'll throw in like a shot of a quilt that I made. I do calligraphy. I do broad letter calligraphy, I believe is the term. Sort of gothic-y fonts, that sort of thing. Again, maybe I'll put a shot in of me doing that if I remember. I do knitting. I do the odd bit of pottery painting. That's quite fun. Stuff like that, just generic crafty skills. I'm going to pick up embroidery soon. That's going to be good. So yeah, that's what I do to relax. I quite like the feeling of being like, here is a thing that I made. Here is a tangible thing, a physical thing that you can look at and use that I have made. And yeah, that's what I enjoy. So yeah, there's 3 things that I do to relax. My goodness, this is turning out to be quite a long video. I'm just looking at the timer. I'm sorry, I do tend to ramble. But that's the end of the challenge for me. That's my 3 questions, 3 things for each question. It's very much a power of 3 kind of challenge. So I'm going to pass this on now. I pass this on to 3 people, and the 3 people that I'm going to pass it on to, if you've been watching the Zomboid series, you will be familiar with all 3 of my delightful minions. I'm going to pass this on to Dave, wee hours. We're going to pass this on to Gremdevel, and we are going to pass this on to Birdiebot. Those of you who watch my Dwarf Fortress stuff, you should also watch Gremdevel and Birdiebot because they play Dwarf Fortress. You should also watch Dave anyway. And actually just watch all of their stuff, regardless. They're great. They're great, and they're fantastic. And I'm so glad they do so many collabs with me because I really have a lot of fun. Yeah, and that's it for this video. If you've made it all the way through, thank you so much for watching. I have been Sevillan. This has been the Getting to Know You Challenge, and I will see you next time. Bye.